It all started with a simple phone call. Terry Ann and I had a one-on-one to talk about having an interview with me about my business, here to there consulting, on her broadcast, Tea Time with Terry Ann. This is Terry Ann's YouTube channel where she interviews women who have overcame obstacles and became successful in their businesses. As we talked for over an hour and a half, getting to know each other at a much deeper level, we realized how much we had in common and how well we could work together. So I suggested that we do coffee chats on Facebook Live, Kansas City inspired coffee with Sheri, and we could talk about topics together.
No. I wanted to do some tea. Let's have some tea and some conversation.
So what way should we go? That was the question. So after the battle of the drinks, we had the battle of the drinks after that.
I got an idea. How about this? Yin yang. It's the Mandarin word for coffee with tea. Sheri didn't go for that at all.
So we decided that we'd just compromise and we would call our new Facebook group Conversations with Sheri and Terry Ann. We didn't care about what others drank. Well, I did. Drink your coffee, okay? But we wanted to include others in our discussion to learn and grow with us over time. But what topics could we discuss? During this crazy time of the pandemic, this past year, I've had to find ways to pivot and run my business. So I've been hosting online workshops and challenges for my business. The topics used there could be a great starting point. And Terry Ann, she had great topics that she used in her business, and they fit well together and provided our first series of conversation topics. It took off and it started growing with additional topics coming from our life and our business experience. And over the last 10 years of running my own business, I've developed a great following on social media. But how could I use that? With the world falling apart, being present, encouraging others online was so important to both of us.
I have been serving behind the scenes as Zoom master for international conferences for 5 years now, and as unofficial self-appointed Zoom master for District 22 this past year. I can bring technology to the table. To go live, we would need 3 things: good lighting, a good microphone and camera system, and a steady platform on which to broadcast. We started with just the built-in camera and mic. Eventually, each of us purchased external units. Neither one of us spent a lot of money. We practiced and were able to adjust our lighting, finding just the right place behind the monitor for the best reflection. While I knew Zoom, I did not know anything about Facebook Live. My only experience with Facebook Live was being a guest on an episode. That was over a year ago. With a little research, has some limitations to what Sheri and I wanted to do. We created an account on a platform called StreamYard. With StreamYard, we could broadcast to 3 pages at one time. When we go live, you can find us on Conversations with Sheri and Terry Ann, on Sheri's KC Inspired Coffee, and on my own Life Coach TA page, all at the same time. Now with StreamYard, we can have a notice up there announcing what our topic is for the day. And then we can also have a little scrolling message across the top, inviting our audience to join in the conversation through the comments. We have the added benefit of taking someone's comment and putting it right there on the screen for everyone to see. We tried one day using virtual backgrounds. That particular day, it didn't work quite well. It caused some connectivity issues. So we decided instead to make sure that our desk area was clean and gave a professional appearance, at least in front of the camera. Upcoming conversations are scheduled as Facebook Live events and then shared to our audience. And then after each live event is complete, we each upload the recording to our personal YouTube channels. This was another learning opportunity, creating, updating, and expanding our YouTube presence. Here, we learned how to add the subscribe button to each video, how to share each other's YouTube page, and even how to embed recordings on websites. With technology in place, we are almost ready to become Facebook Live on-air talents.
We had a plan, but we weren't sure how or what we wanted to do. And feeling just a little intimidated, we decided to do it scared. That was our attitude. So we hit the record button, doing a test run to see what would happen. We talked about women in leadership, and surprisingly, with both of us talking, it went on for over an hour. So we determined that maybe we needed to condense it down just a little bit to 30 minutes. So we decided on our first topic, mindset. What a great topic. We started with 3-minute introduction video explaining who we were and what we were going to talk about. And our first Facebook Live was on September 16th, and we actually kept it to 30 minutes. Over time, we've decided that we need a timer prompt. So we came up with the idea, being that we are Toastmasters, that we needed a timer prompt. We came up with the idea to use a red coffee cup as a clue to know when we only had 5 minutes left. We then wrapped up that topic and let our audience know what the next topic will be. This has worked very well for both of us. We not only needed to have a topic though, we needed an audience. So we started inviting others, setting up event pages, and sharing them all over social media. We even did a promotion video for our 20th episode 3 weeks ago, and are now so excited that our 6-month episode will be on March 17th. As we've grown doing these episodes as Toastmasters, we decided that we needed feedback and some evaluation from our audience. So we put together a survey for our audience, asking for that feedback, and we got much needed response.
At this time, we have completed 23 weekly Facebook Live conversations. What kind of response did we get? Well, we asked 4 questions. How do you watch the conversations, live or on the replay? What are we doing well? What topics would you like to see us discuss? And what can we do to improve? Through the responses, we learned that about as many people watched us live as watched the replay. Followers like the conversation style format that we are using. It allows those who watch to join the conversation through the comments. They like that we have specific topics each week and that they are timely. They comment that we play well off of each other, we stay on topic, and we're time conscious. Thank you, Toastmasters, for that training. Several topics were offered up as suggestions. Some of these will be included in future conversations. What can we do to improve? It was suggested that we add a list of resources each week to allow the audience to continue to follow up on the topic. We're going to do some research and slowly start to bring this about. Other than that, they feel that we are on the right track. They see us becoming more confident each week, and they encouraged us to continue.
So by starting a Facebook page with weekly topics to support and grow our audience, we've learned how to be adaptable, how to deal with online audiences, and how to keep people engaged while we're online.
We learned how very important it is to meet 20 to 30 minutes before we go live so that we can make sure that our equipment is working correctly and that we are on the same page regarding the topic that we're going to be speaking about.
We have also learned how important it is to have an after meeting after we go live so that we can reflect on what went well and what things we need to improve. We also discuss what our next topic will be so that we can prepare and to make sure to share it on social media, inviting others to our next episode.
We are growing to become more comfortable on video and with an online audience. Unable to see facial expressions with the platform that we are using, we are learning to read the comments and to be sure to ask the audience participant to clarify their question or comment as we go along.
We are looking forward to growing our audience more, learning along the way, and we've even decided to take this another step forward by having an online Women's E-Summit the first part of June. We want to invite you, our Toastmaster family, to join us next week at 9:30 on Wednesday, the 24th, for our 24th episode, Conversations with Sheri and Terry Ann, as we will be talking about the coaches we need in our life. And don't worry, if 9:30 on Wednesdays doesn't work for you, we have many ways for you to watch us on replays.
Our online presence has continued to grow, and we would like to invite you to join us. Dan is going to put into the chat a PDF with links to the various social media and website addresses for each one of us and for our joint Conversations with Sheri and Terry Ann.
We would love to thank you, our fellow Toastmaster family, for encouraging and teaching us to jump and get out of our comfort zone. Therefore, growing, learning, becoming better communicators and leaders, because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Madam Toastmaster.
All righty. I really want to thank the Terry and Sheri show. They did something that was very different and unique. We're always looking for different and unique. But we're going to have evaluators to evaluate them separately. And so the two evaluators for Sheri is going to be physical delivery, is going to be none other than Mr., my brother from another mother, Eddie Herman, and Joanne, District Director Extraordinaire, Monroe, is going to be the message content evaluator. Eddie, take it away, my brother. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can't hear you, my brother. My brother, are you lip syncing again, trying to trick us?
He's not muted, and it looks like he's calling in from his phone, so there is some kind of an issue going on there.
That's okay. What we'll do is we'll go ahead, we'll go to the message content evaluator, Joanne, and then we'll come back.
All right. Sheri and Terry Ann, but mainly Sheri for my evaluation. I really enjoyed this speech and hearing about how you put together a joint effort of social media presence. The purpose of your speech was to give us the impact of applying your understanding of getting a social media presence. And I think you did that. I liked how you started out really kind of telling us a story about how you and Terry Ann got together and started discussing this idea of having a joint conversation together on social media. I liked how you added some humor with between you and Terry Ann, trying to decide which name to call it, coffee talk, or I didn't write down what Terry Ann said, but something with tea. And then you compromised and came up with Conversations with Sheri and Terry Ann. So I thought that was a good blend of both aspects on your part. I also liked how you, shared, said you had several topics that you worked on that would fit together. One thing I thought you could do maybe would share a little bit more of what those topics were, and maybe to even challenge yourself with sharing what you had learned about dealing with online audiences a little bit more, and maybe even sharing just how it has impacted your life in doing now almost 24 episodes with Terry Ann in this regard. I liked how you and Terry Ann kind of split different topics and shared with us. You kind of went through the how to implement, and that you had like a 30-minute time frame, and how you came up with using the red cup to show as your prompt. So overall, I think you really engaged us on conversational back and forth, and I really enjoyed learning about how you came about this project, and would love to hear more about you. And I think you've really inspired me to go out and listen to your podcast, because I can't really do it at the time that you do it live, but I think it would definitely be something I would like to listen to going forward on replays. Thank you very much, Sheri.
Thank you, Joanne. Brother Herman, are you good?
I'm testing my mic. Please tell me you hear me.
You are the man, not the man, the man.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. Sheri, I liked that. That is you. That's the essence of where you're going, and your passion should show. And I thought towards the end of your delivery, your dynamics really took an uptick, and it showed me that. The beginning was a little bit lackluster. Now here's what I noticed. Your pretty face was up, and it was beautiful right up against the screen. However, you were almost looking off to the side. And then after a while, being this close to you, I watched your eyes move, and your delivery was very smooth, from a no ums, no hums, no hitches, but it felt like you were reading it. And here's the good thing about reading is you do get that smooth delivery. Unfortunately, it's also something you get physically attached to it, and after a while, you just lean on it. As things progressed, you actually let go of it some, and your dynamics really started to take a turn. It got me a little bit more excited about what you're doing. Solid job. Good props. I thought you picking up the coffee cup, that was really well done. Your facial gestures, again, started to move along with your dynamics towards the end of the speech. And I felt that at times there was more that you could do with your gestures, but the camera angle was perhaps a bit too hard up on you. So if you're going to use your hands, then I would get into a place where the camera has your hands at the ready, so it is not a distraction between them coming on screen, going off screen, coming on screen, going off screen. That's just my observation. From a physical delivery perspective, your tone could probably match Terry Ann's. There were times where she would come in way high, and it seemed like you guys weren't always, so the handoff could be a little bit more smoothed out a little bit if you guys work through that. I would love to see you watch yourself in the recording and see what you pick up, because I sense that this has got such potential, and from a physical delivery, with just a few more tweaks, we'd really get excited about seeing you. Thank you, Madam, Mr. General Evaluator. Back to you, sir.
Now, you know you're awesome when you can give a full-blown evaluation while you're driving the car at the same time. See, nobody can tell me ATOS doesn't have talented people that can multitask and just Is voracious something that would describe that kind of a behavior, word master? Okay, moving on. Our last two evaluators will be evaluating Terry Ann, as she has the president of her fan club, Reed Porter, in the house tonight. Mr. Arbuckle will be giving the physical delivery, 1 to 2 minutes. Linda Maniscalco will be giving the message content. Dan Arbuckle, take it away.
Thank you very much. Terry Ann, wonderful job. I have to say that, and to cheaply use the word of the day, voracious, I was so voraciously intent on enjoying it, I almost forgot I was doing an evaluation. It was wonderful. From a physical content standpoint, you set yourself up to give yourself the best possible stage via Zoom. When you had the idea to spotlight both of you, that way there was the actual back and forth and we all could see you and could see that interaction. From your side of things, I loved the facial expressions. They really felt natural and brought me into being right there with you. And as Joanne said, the time's not great for me, but it really made me want to listen to the recordings because it looked like you love what you guys do and you have a wonderful time doing it. You showed us your coffee cup, you had good props, lots of hand use. I really did like the counting off. We did this, we did this, we did this, which I thought was great. But just to be a tiny bit nitpicky, it seemed like you did that several times. And I say that's a bit nitpicky because I want to point out that I thought you were phenomenal. Wonderful job, wonderful placement. Being seated really fit well with this is what you do when you actually participate in this activity, the back and forth. I thought it was a great job, loved it. Thank you very much.
Amazing jobs, evaluators. Thank you so much for all of that great feedback. I am going to move into the next portion of the agenda.
You want Linda to do her evaluation?
No, because life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. No, thank you, Stephanie. Well, Linda, I guess you got saved. I guess Linda is going to hook us up with a message content evaluation. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
Thank you, Andre. Terry Ann Porter, I am in awe of your vivacious or voracious entrepreneurial spirit. You are so gifted. I was present and witnessed you as a pioneer when you learned and mastered Zoom through our club in the district, but you continue to develop a spider web of very successful opportunities with this. What a treat. You and Sheri masterfully took us through a tutorial on how to set up a Facebook video weekly show, Conversations with Sheri and Terry Ann. You told us about lighting, microphones, platform development, how you pushed your conversations out to 3 different platforms, how you conquered scrolling messages, real-time messages from the audience, how to upload videos. You know, I like the way you interacted with Sheri and the story of your historical hookup for these conversations. Your facial expressions were both great, both when you were listening and talking. Opportunities for improvement, not many, but here's a couple that I caught. I think you should try to share equally on the conversations. It can't be every show, every video 50-50, but I think that you should make sure that you're talking back and forth and that you both have kind of equal time. At first, it seemed like it might have been just a little bit one-sided. Terry Ann, I know this wasn't your fault, but you did have lagging camera and freezing at times, just at the very beginning of the video or of the Zoom presentation. Maybe, you know, I know you can look into better platforms, better subscriptions to things. That might be something that you might want to think about in the future. Hey, I've got a challenge for you. Why don't you continue to explore being more spontaneous? Your presentation seemed a little bit canned or scripted, just at times. Let's watch The View, see what they talk and argue about. You can bring your personality into this. The more comfortable you get, the more it'll come out, believe me. Well, where do I sign up? You got me. I plan to try to be there Wednesday, but you know my inept problems with my computer and trying to get hooked up to stuff. But I really, really appreciate that your show and showing us an unbelievably wonderful video experience we can participate in. Congratulations. My hands are clapping for you.
Wow. Stephanie, I am so glad you did not allow us to miss that gift.